you got any final thoughts for the show?
Make jukes, not war.
Can we edit that out?
Nope. I had my game face on.
I think we can.
Hello and welcome to one of my favourite BMWs in existence, the Bmw E46 M3. These are my three variations here, as you can see, that I actually have to hold right now. But there is various other variations that I haven't actually got. I do plan on getting in the very, very, very distant future. Those do include the RLC yellow one, the RLC blue one, Team Transport, and the upcoming red sort of Circuit Legends one, which should be pretty good. That's sort of CSL specs, or similar to this Laguna Seca blue one, and all very, very nice. So let's have a look at it, and let me describe why I think this is one of the best BMWs ever made. Now, just wanted to point out that this one is indeed wheel swapped. The original variation is here with the blue 10-spoke wheels, which I think was one of the first times we saw these blue ones, and that was released back in 2020. This was the Fast and Furious release, but I think it's definitely perfect. It's white with the black CSL front sort of canards there on the front splitter / diffuser, and same on the rear end, as you can see. With a sort of diffuser, that sort of piece back there, and the quad tips exhausts, really, really nice on the back end as well. You'll notice that on all of these, they're all fully detailed. You can see weather piping or weather stripping on the windows are all the way around on every side, and they're all reasonably well sort of matched and joined, which is sort of unexpected for Hot Wheels, especially in recent years, where the quality has sort of slipped quite significantly, which is a bit of a shame. Paint defects are sort of an issue on this cast, which I've noticed on all of these, particularly on the bonnet. You can see these aren't really scratches, they're just sort of defects in the paint, which is not really a big thing. It's just definitely an issue with this cast, which I think they could definitely do a lot better with. I love these wheels. I think they should definitely release one with body colour wheels, because these are looking fantastic. White on white definitely is an up for me. Now, being one of the original sort of early 2000s edition of the BMW lineup, where you sort of got the same front end on every single BMW car, that sort of generation, going from around 1998 to the late 2000s, so you sort of had things like the original X5, the, of course, 3 Series being the E46, the 5 Series also followed this as well, but not as lightly. That was the, I believe that was the, can't quite remember the name, but that set is definitely sort of seen being prevalent in the new BMW set that Hot Wheels have just released, with that sort of same generation M5 and M3 from that time, which is definitely a very timeless design. It's definitely very early 2000s, but at the same time not too far away from what we see now. Definitely very pretty cars, definitely very sort of aggressive at the same time. Definitely not as overly aggressive as the current ones are. We can see sort of a nice classical coupe design in there, and the cast is, in terms of Hot Wheels, very accurate. Just the front end a bit stumpy, as you can see. It's classic Hot Wheels where it's very sort of low and stretched out, whereas it should be more sort of wide and high, so wide and low. This is sort of a bit too opposite. It's a bit too low and thin, I think. But either way, the cast is still very good, and for a Hot Wheels standard, I think it's perfect. Definitely one you should stick your mind out for, because even though it may be a BMW, and for you American fans who may be watching, it might not be the best of things ever, but I think it's definitely one of the best casts they've ever made. Its accuracy is fantastic, the interior is great, and it's definitely a very good call for customising, whether you want to make an RLC replica or not. Another fact about these things are that they came with either a manual or an SMG automatic transmission, which meant that the transmission in both manual and automatic was exactly the same. You only had to change, if you wanted to swap from auto or manual, swap the transmission. Unlike other cars, you do not have to actually swap the transmission. You have to swap the ECU and swap a few bits and pieces with the transmission, but not the whole thing, because they're both exactly the same, which is quite interesting. Something I think manufacturers should have done a lot more, but only BMW did, from my beliefs. More about the paint code on this one. This is Laguna Seca Blue, which is personally one of my favourites. It doesn't quite come across as well as it does in person as it does on camera. Sadly, as the camera is sort of dulled out at this time of the night, but that's sort of my fault. As you can see on all three of these, without scratching them, you can see the weather stripping is nicely done, as I mentioned before, and details all the way around are pretty much spot on, as you can see on all of them. Just my middle one from Mark that I got there, not as good as the rest, as you can see, with the sort of side light to the rear light, but that's me being nitpicking. Of course, I am a huge BMW fan, so I was absolutely overly excited when this thing first came out. And am I still excited? Yes. I love seeing this, and hopefully soon, fingers crossed, we either get it in a special mainline series, sort of Walmart edition, or actual mainline. So hopefully next year, fingers crossed, or even more BMWs. I'd love to see more of them, especially fully detailed like these are. So why not take a few photos and enjoy the cast for themselves. Thank you all very much for watching. Stay safe, of course. Stay juking.